Andrey Seryy, men's swimming. You know, it's one thing in sport for your opponent to respect you. It's another to be so good in your sport that they give you a nickname. Dr. J, Magic, Hammer and Hank, Say Hey. You know, just hearing those nicknames evoked a certain athletic supremacy, a certain dominance in the game. In that backdrop, it's the 2011 National Championships in swimming and diving. Andrey Seryy's first entrance onto that field. He is so dominant that the NCAA announcer coins a nickname for him during the championship, partly as an ode to his native St. Petersburg, Russia, and partly in his dominance in the pool. He was nicknamed the Russian Rocket. And you know what? His opponents knew it. In 14 opportunities in the NCAA championship, he was a first-team All-American 13 times. The other time, an honorable mention All-American. He set, in his first year, records in the 50 freestyle, the 100 freestyle, and the 200 freestyle. And he came back the next year to set records again in the same events. That first year at the NCAA championships, he was named the Men's Swimmer of the Year. The next year, with the same dominant performance, he didn't win the award. It was given to another swimmer, and get this, Andrey beat him in their head-to-head competition. Now there's a Russian conspiracy I can understand. He won 10 conference titles and was twice the conference swimmer of the year. You know, in a sport in which fractions of a second decide who's first and who's second, his marks stood for years. His time in the 50 freestyle was 19.39 seconds. It lasted for years. And his mark in the 100 freestyle, 42.61, look it up, is still a record today. That's how you get a nickname. You know, Coach Peters at this particular time was really interested in just how good Andrey was, and Andrey obviously wanted to test his talent as well. So one day between his junior and senior year, they went over to the University of Michigan for some friendly competition in the pool. It wasn't against the University of Michigan's team. No, they wouldn't have had a chance. This was a celebrity-filled pool with Olympians and world champions, including Jason Lezak, who had won a gold medal at the Peking Olympics, and Colin Jones, another U.S. sprinter who had won a gold medal at the Olympics. That celebrity pool that day was filled with some of the best in the world. And at the end of the race, only 2 people climbed out of the pool ahead of Andrey. A guy by the name of Cesar Cielo, the world record holder from Brazil, and another guy, and his name slips my mind, oh yeah, Michael Phelps. Those were the only 2. That's how you maintain a nickname. Today, he's sprinting right in to the Hall of Fame. Andrey Seryy.
Andrey Seryy, please come forward. Andrey's citation reads in part, Andrey Seryy was a 2-year varsity letter winner, 2010 to 2012. A native of St. Petersburg, Russia, Andrey was a 14-time All-American, 13 first-team honors, and 1 honorable mention, and was the college swim coach's Division II National Male Swimmer of the Year in 2011. Just don't ask Andrey why he wasn't why the swimmer from Wingate was the 2012 Male Swimmer of the Year. So, in both his junior and senior years, Andrey was the national champion in the 50, 100, and 200 free. As a junior, he set the NCAA record in the 50 free And as a senior, he set the NCAA record in both the 100 free and 200 free. In fact, his 100 free record, as Rob mentioned, still stands to this day. Was talking to the coach, if you do a swimming conversion, his 100 free time converted to a long course meters would have placed him at the top 30 at the 2016 Rio Summer Olympics. As in the GLIAC, he was dominating. He was a 10-time GLIAC champion, winning all 3 sprint events, both his junior and senior season, and all of those records actually still exist to this day. Andrey was a finance major, was a 2-year GLIAC all-academic team selection, and the college swim coach's Scholar All-American as a senior. He was on the academic honor roll all 5 semesters, including 3 terms with a 3.5 or higher GPA. Governor O'Brien, President Wilson, Rob, it gives me great pleasure to present Mr. Andrey Seryy for induction into the Wayne State University Athletics Hall of Fame.
Thank you. Hope you guys enjoying your meals. So since everybody shared their story, I felt obligated. I need to say a couple of words about me too, because a few months preceding Wayne State and right after was quite eventful. So as some of you may know or may not, but international students, we have to take English test. It's an official test. You can take it like once in a few months, and you have to pass it, wait several weeks for results. So I had to start Wayne State in September. My test was scheduled in the spring. I go there, and they say, sorry, technical difficulties. Come back in 6 months. So I missed my September opportunity. I came back in January. It's my birthday. I'm so excited. I'm flying in. It was a nice, beautiful summer, sunny day in Russia. I land in Chicago, and it's a snowstorm, just wrecked the havoc. And they said, sorry, but you can sleep on your back for the next 10 hours. So then I land in Detroit, and I figure out, well, I passed the English test, but I have no idea what people say to me. Moreover, I can't even say anything to them because I couldn't speak. So I start my classes, and that was just so overwhelming. You sit with the textbook, and you have Google Translator, so you try to figure out, read one chapter till late night, knowing at 5 a.m. you have to wake up at practice. So I thought like, wow, that's just so much fun. Could it be even better? So it turned out to be, it can be better. We start our first meet, and I break my arm. My season's over, so without even starting. So I'm sitting in the hospital looking at my x-ray and thinking like, well, you're not quite superstitious, but I think there were writings on the wall. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea. But at that moment you just feel like everything is against you. Except there were a few areas where it wasn't. It was my team and Wayne State stuff. So they gave me just unconditional support, and I always felt welcomed. They just say, listen, things happened. We'll have next year, next season, you will have your chance. And at that moment, you feel all that support and belief, and it changes your whole experience, how you view things, how you view people. And I felt, wow, okay, I have 2 more years of eligibility, and those people, they gave me their support. And I'll do everything I can, every single race, every single practice, to prove them I want their support, and they believe in me. And I hope I did it right. So yeah, since I'm here, looks like something's worked out. So I want to say personally thank you to those people who contributed to my transformation, not just as an athlete, but as a better person as well. First, it's Coach Sean Peters. He's not here, unfortunately. He's defending his conference title at Jenison. So we started a conversation. He recruited me before Wayne. It was like several months. I just bombarded him with questions about the program. And he later told me like nobody asked me that many questions about swimming. So through all my 4.5 years at Wayne, always felt his support. He guided me. I learned many new things from him. And even after Wayne, after my swimming part, he introduced me to some quite interesting people who jumpstart my career back in New York, where I currently reside. So it's a big thank you to Sean Peters. Next person is Padron. He was Hall of Famer 2016. He's a very good swimmer too, native of Brazil. Some of you know he's a very emotional guy. And he was assistant coach for sprinters. So I was in a pool, he was right there on the deck with a stopwatch. And we had many good and bad moments with him, it's for sure, because nobody had good moment when you have to wake up at 5 a.m. in the winter. And yeah, he probably took the biggest chunk of my crying, whinings, arguing. And on the other hand, he greatly expanded my Brazilian curse words vocabulary, that's for sure. But at least that way I knew he really cares. And other coaches, I took some beats here and there, so they all contributed to how to be a better athlete. Bryce Peters, he was assistant coach. Hopefully he still remember how we went to US Nationals and I set the hotel kitchen on fire. I was preparing my healthy meal. Strength and conditioning, first it was Brandon. Of course, unfortunately he's not here. He laid out the foundation how to actually do exercise properly. Then Coach Mendoza and Matt, we added that explosive practices. It was just right in, exactly to improve my results. Then assistant coaches AJ, Sebastian, who's not here, they all contributed. They all were there to support. Medical staff, Michael, Steve, fortunately he's not here too. You gotta bring him cheesecake or something. I still remember your ice water recovery bathtubs. And of course I want to say thank you to Wayne State athletic staff. First Rob, thank you for your support and belief. And without you, I think it would be quite challenging to even finish my degree here. Thank you very much. Jason, Jeff, you always been there. Every question I had, even the stupidest one, you always were there to support me. And last but not least, my teammates, who some of them here, some of them even on the other part of this planet. So there were 55 of you. I can't really name all of them. But you really made me feel special. I felt like a family. Swimming is individual sport, and you're alone there on that lane, swimming, and you can't really hear anything or see it. But I always felt your support. I always knew you covered my back, and it really felt like a family, like a team. So thank you very much. And public speaking makes me really nervous. When I'm nervous, I'm really hungry, so I think I'll wrap up here and go back to my cheesecake.